everything is mirrored onto and sent to the cloud storage, and the name of the cloud storage is myitero.com. And you use the same login details as the iTero to log into the cloud. Okay. So to start, let's just understand the home screen. So the home screen is along the top. There's an education tab where you can tap that. It goes into the learning center. And then you choose, language. And then there's, along the top, it has different topics, so orthodontic, restorative, labs. Let's go orthodontic. And then you can go video library, let's say. And all the features of the iTero are here, where you can learn. Let's go back. This will allow you to lock the iTero and go back to the home screen. Settings. So I think the most important things within the settings are obviously your Wi-Fi connection. And then usually this sync and configuration button. So usually when you add a new doctor, like I've just added a new doctor for you onto the system, you press sync and configure, and it will swirl, and then usually stop right there. And so that will mean everything that we have on our system will now be linked into your iTero. Okay. The rest of it you don't necessarily need right now, but you can adjust different things on there. This button here is to log in. This is where the iTero trainer or the iTero support team will log on to the iTero remotely. So you just double tap that question mark. Just wait for it to load. It will load an app called Team Viewer, and you will get an ID and a password that you would then give to the trainer or to the support team. Okay? And then they will be able to take control. Okay? So then we go to these 4 boxes here, the new scan, patients, that will be all your patients that you've already scanned, orders will be everything that's been sent through already, and then messages, you don't really need to do anything here, but this is where all the updates usually come to. Let's go back, and so we will start with new scan. Okay, so it's loaded Dr. Nazar, which is great. Then we're just going to enter test. So it will be the patient's first name, and then last name. And let's say you've seen this patient before, or it's a patient, so someone with the same name as someone else, you can add like a birth date here. To just separate. Okay, so then we go to case type. Okay, so iCast, that is your study model. So the last model that you would probably put a 3D base and ask your lab to print. Now it's digital. So if you finish a patient and you scan, it will be loaded with a 3D base, and whenever you want to print it, you could then ask your lab to print it.
Okay.
So you don't
there's no pre and post model.
Exactly. So iRecord, this is the ability to do any sort of scan. It's an open STL file that you can then send to your lab to create whatever appliance you need. To use this for like your in-house retainers, or I don't know, your what else do you print in the lab or do in the lab besides the restorative stuff? Do you do any sort of like twin blobs or anything like that? So all through iRecord, okay? So expanders, everything that you would normally use to impressions, you can now do it through. So now, once you've got your lab set up, so once you've given me the information that I've asked for, you'd be able to send directly to your lab. So as soon as you scan, that scan will be sent to your lab.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it takes about maybe like 24 hours to go straight to the lab because we clean up the scan before it goes to your lab.
Oh, okay.
We can tap brackets present and multi-bite. So if a patient has an off-center bite, you can scan with it off-center and then scan with it centered. Okay.
Sorry, what again?
So if you've got a patient that has like a cross bite, and they've got like side bite, and then you scan there, and then also where it's centered, so you have two reference points you can send to your lab. You just press multi-bite, and it'll take 2 bite scans. Okay. So that's iRecord. Invisalign is for Invisalign. It's a closed file for Invisalign. Yeah. You've got Vivera pre-debone.
Oh, you have those.
Yeah. Can you tell me what pre-deboned scan is?
Sorry?
Can you guess what a Vivera pre-deboned scan is?
Pre-deboned?
Pre-deboned. What would I use that for?
Vivera pre-deboned. So that is before.
Before you
Invisalign?
before you debond the patient. So, for example, with wires and brackets, usually you would.
Oh, with the braces.
Yeah, with the braces, and sometimes you have to wait a week for the retainers to come. Yeah. You can scan with the patient, have taken out the wire, scan the patient with the brackets on. Yeah, and then our lab will digitally remove those brackets.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that the retainers could be made without the patient even taking off the braces.
Oh, okay.
So that when they come for the debond appointment, they can fit the retainers straight away.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay. So then you've got Invisalign Plus iRecord, and this is the one I suggest you use majority of the time. Yeah, because what that's going to give you is a closed Invisalign file and an open STL file in one scan.
Okay.
Okay, so that if you needed, for any reason, to, I don't know, do wires and brackets or to send something else to your lab, you've got both types of scans in one scan. There's chairside milling, Invisalign First, and there's a whole restorative side of things, which we will
discuss on 25th.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we'll go through on the 25th. Yeah. 9 to 11. I've saved it this time. Okay, so initial record, and then we follow the flow chart on the top of the screen. So that is the scanner head. And let's put a scan sleeve in there. So these are one-use scanner sleeves. Okay. You take them out, and you just want to replace this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you just place this on here. And you want to make sure it's right down, yeah? Because sometimes when you just do that, you get a lip on the scanner, yeah? So you want to make sure it's all the way down. Okay. Alright, so let's go with this one. So it's going to prompt you on where we should go first, and it's saying lower. And then it's highlighted in blue. That's where we need to start. So we always suggest that you sit behind the patient, yeah, 12 o'clock, and then you're going to hold the scanner like this, because there's fans on here that if you start blocking it, it overheats the wand, and it will start shutting off. You then press this button. Keep in contact.
I don't need to press that button?
You just need to press it once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you literally go across the occlusal surface first. You shift 45 degrees, keep it in contact, and then you go lingual. And then you go buckle. Yeah? And then we go to the other side. And you just want to do it nice and slow to start. Always making sure you're in contact. And the things that I'm looking at is this viewfinder here. You want to be in the middle, so that occlusal surface is in the middle of the viewfinder. Or if I'm going lingual, again, it's in the middle there. Or if I'm going buckle, it's in the middle there. Yeah? Because sometimes if you start doing this and like this and all that, it's not going to scan. Yeah? It should be in the middle there. And you want to catch a little bit of the gingival margin as well.
Should be 2 millimeter or?
About 2 millimeters is fine, yeah. Okay? So that's the lower done. You can do this and drag it. You can open and close it if you want to. You could even change the color type. So this is more study model color. And in this one, you can kind of see the highlights of where it's scanning better, because it gives you that yellow thing there. Yeah? So you know exactly where the scanner is. Okay? Other things that you can do here is you can hold this down, and I can delete a whole segment or a selection. So if I did this, it will delete the whole segment. If I did this, I can literally select where I want to erase. Yeah. And then I press scan, and then I start on a place where I've scanned before, and it will jump in, and then you just continue along like that. Again, go to the other side, and we just fill that in, okay? Alright. Okay, any questions so far? No? Okay. So we're finished with the lower, then we're gonna, wait, let's see what other selections we have. That's fine. And then we go up, so that's the upper. Thank you. And again, you want to be sitting behind the patient, and you want a nice contact, like that. And then the patient will open up the occlusal surface first.
Including the palatal?
It depends. If you have a palatal device, like an expander or something, you would need to capture it. But otherwise,
no.
For Invisalign, no. See how I referenced myself? I knew I was too deep there, so I just came back up. And you're just going to go like that. And then you're going to shift to the side. Whenever the scan is not where you want it to be, just go back to the occlusal surface as your reference point. Yeah? And then you're going to go shift. And when it gets uncomfortable at like that point within the patient's mouth, you can stop. You can do this, you can tell the patient close their mouth, swallow, and you can go back like that.
It's not sensitive also with the saliva?
Yeah, it's sensitive with saliva, so you'd want to dry the surfaces. Yeah. And then you just make your way around again. Cool? Oh, sorry. Don't want to break it out. So that is that. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. If this was a patient, yeah, I would say those little spots there, go back in and scan that. Okay? And always, if you needed to start again, just go back to an area you scanned before, wait for it to jump in, like that, and then just go around to wherever you want to. Next, we're following the chart. We can either do this, or we could have pressed that. Okay? So now this is the bite. Can you? Thank you. So the patient opens their mouth. You slide this in. Sorry, 1 second. You slide it in, and then I'm trying to do this with crossing. Is this even crossing? Okay, that will do. So you got that in, and you're just going to scan from the premolar, nice big wave out to the canine until it jumps in like that. Stop. Next side. This bite is going to be messed up. Again, premolar, nice big wave. Catch some of the gingival margin, and it's going to register like that. Okay?
No need for in front? Just that?
No, just the sides is fine. Yeah? The two sides. And don't scan from the premolar all the way to the other side, because then it's going to confuse the scanner. Just up and down, up to the canine. It should jump in, and then stop, and then start on the other side.
How about what the patient if they have denture? So I need to remove the denture then?
No, you don't need to remove the denture, just a regular bite, unless you need something where it's dentureless and you need to record the bites without the dentures, then do that. But if you need the bite with the dentures, do it with the dentures. Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the last piece of the puzzle, as you press that, they're saying there's a discrepancy of the bite just because it couldn't hold that properly. So you can return to scanning, or you could override it and say no. On here you can see stuff like the occlusal clearance. So if I did that. So this is really important, like if you're in combination with like the dentist and you need a certain level of clearance to put like an implant or an abutment or whatever. You got this kind of graph there. You can change that, and you can erase the whole thing, or you can cut sections of it, and you just press that when you're ready to cut. Then the last thing is you press the email. Once you confirm and send, it doesn't start making Invisalign automatically. It just goes to the cloud, and it sits there until Dr. Nizar fills in his prescription. Exactly. You know that bit because you send people to, but now you can do it all in-house, right? Okay, so the other important one here is probably outcome simulator. So this is really good if you're just scanning patients. So as a base, I would say the best recommendation is that every person who walks into your practice gets scanned. And then you can have a record as well as be able to show them how their teeth will look straightened as well.
Oh, it's like a sleep check?
It's like basically something like that, a little bit more basic. So what it does is compares 10 million, it's actually 9 million patients now who've done Invisalign.
Wow.
And the computer just says, okay, we've seen this movement before, let's try and get it there. I love how funky the bite came out. Definitely a crossbite there. Yeah. I mean, this is a straight typodon, so I mean, you can show the patient if they had like overcrowding in the lowers or whatever, it will show the patient their teeth straightened. You can send this to the patient, so you can actually like send this to their phones, and they can actually view this outside of the practice. So it's a good way to start, you know, marketing Invisalign and other treatments in the practice. You can show them that. Even doctors can do like different treatment outcomes if they wanted to. They could adjust the outcomes so they can, if I wanted more intrusion and extrusion, I can move that around.
Not nature.
Yeah, and I could do multiples if I wanted to. But I mean, this wouldn't be anything you needed to do, to be honest. Yeah. Move group of them together. And then you have different movements. Yeah. So I think that is all you need to know. Share, I think we've done share, you fill out the details, we've done that. And then back to home screen. Invisalign progress assessment is, it will use the ClinCheck that's done for the patient. And so let's say you've got a patient who's in treatment, they come 6 months later. You can compare the ClinCheck at 6 months versus what they actually are in reality, right? And then it's going to show you like the areas of the teeth that are not moved properly. Yeah. Okay, so that's Invisalign progress assessment. Yeah. Then there's one called, once you scan the patient more than once, there's one called time lapse, and that compares their first scan or 2 different scans to each other. So for example, if I've got gum recession happening, how do I show a patient that, right? So you scan me today, in 12 months you scan me again, then you can actually see the recession.
So I can use it with the Invisalign progress assessment?
So you can, so this one is for Invisalign, yeah. Then there's one, once you scan the patient like 3 times, there will be one that says time lapse.
Time.
So it's a great way, like, I don't know, if a treatment coordinator, or do you have a hygienist in the practice?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if a hygienist is really worried about a patient's tooth wear, or they, you know, they've got lots of build-up and stuff, it's a good way to show. So that is the orthodontic workflow in a nutshell. Okay? You want to have a little try?
Yeah.